Confidence is just one of those skills that every leader should aim at building. Confidence is built over time. It doesn't just happen that you get up one day and you have all the confidence in the world. Confidence is an essential skill for every leader. To be able to get people to follow you, they have to know that you are confident in your ideas, you believe in yourself, they can trust you to make the right decisions for them and with them. Confidence helps you as a leader to communicate effectively with others. It helps you to influence them, and it also helps you to be able to build trust among people and to be credible. Confidence is just one of those skills that every leader should aim at building. Confidence is built over time. It doesn't just happen that you get up one day and you have all the confidence in the world. Although, yes, we do have people like that. But for most of us, we have to take our time to build that confidence. And confidence sometimes comes when you have the right technical skills and you also have the right mindset. Why I'm saying this is that without having the essential technical skills, you're not even going to believe that you can do it yourself. So once you know you can do it yourself, you have that confidence and it exudes in everything that you do. And once you're confident, the people following you also have the confidence in you and they'll be able to trust that your decision making is sound and they'll be able to want to follow you. So when we say confidence is a skill, what we're trying to say is that it's something that you can build over time and it's something that you can improve in, because sometimes when we look around and we see people who are very confident that we admire, we think that they were born that way or there's something special about them that makes them so confident. But then we have to always know that because it's a skill, it can be built by anyone over time as long as the person is doing it steadily and improving consistently. One of the ways that you can build your confidence, for instance, first of all, even acknowledging that it's a skill that you can build. So once you have that mindset that this is something I might not be too confident today, but then I'm trying to improve my confidence level daily. I'm going to put myself out there and I'm going to do little things to improve my confidence. Then you've just put yourself in that right mind frame or that right frame of mind to help you to start your confidence journey. So one, embrace your strengths. Everyone is unique in a very different way, and no two people are the same. Whenever you want to build your confidence, you have to know that you are a very unique person and the way you go about things might be different. But then there's nothing wrong with who you are and how you approach things. Improve your communication skills. Communication is very essential if you want to be confident. And communication is also very important for every leader because you have to be able to express your thoughts and express what you stand for and what the group of people that you are leading also stand for. And one of the ways of improving your communication skill is by taking little steps towards progress every day. Not everyone might be the best at writing or the best at speaking or the best at even presenting before an audience. But then these are all things that you can learn over time. And one of the best ways that you can actually improve your communication skills is putting yourself out there and actually taking little steps when you are under no pressure to perform. So for instance, if you want to improve your communication skills, starting out right off by saying, I want to MC my firm's end of year party or end of year annual retreat might be a bit of a stretch. But then if you start by volunteering to pray every day, for instance, at your normal morning meetings, or if you volunteer to maybe make a 2-minute presentation every time you are in front of your own peers, that gives you the little confidence that you build over time. And as you keep doing that, you get to communicate better and more fluently. Another thing that you can do to improve your communication skills might come from writing. So no one really writes like Stephen King the first time they're writing something. But sometimes we beat ourselves up so much because maybe when you send an email, you notice that you're not using certain words that other people are using. The first time you write an email or the first time you write a technical article, you might not be the best. But then if you keep at it and you keep doing it over time, because you get feedback and because you also read your own writing over and you actually see the problems that where you made mistakes or where you could have written more succinctly or in a better way, you get to improve your writing. And over time, you realize that when it comes to either speaking or writing, you get very good at it. And that makes you a bit more confident in yourself, because if you're able to stand in front of people, speak in front of them, present something to them, and your writing is also top-notch. That gives you that confidence that you need in your career for that leadership boost. Invest in continuous learning and personal development. When you're good at something, naturally you become confident in it. If you're good at a technical topic, for instance, if you're really, really good at underwriting, you become naturally confident in it and you can speak to it and you can speak before any audience at all. That is why you have to invest in your personal and professional development. Investing in your personal and professional development actually makes you more confident in your work. It makes you more confident in your delivery, and it also makes you more confident in being able to lead other people when it comes to your line of work. One of the problems that I had when I became a young leader was that I had come into a very new industry that I had nothing about. I knew nothing about. Prior to my entry into insurance, I used to be a tax consultant. So all I knew were the tax laws. I knew nothing about insurance. But then here I was being given the platform to now become the CEO of a company. I knew that without building the required technical expertise, there was no way that I could be confident in my own skin and believe in myself as a leader. I therefore took up certain courses. I started going to I started a diploma in insurance. I also took up e-learning courses, and I was very, very intentional about it because I knew that to build my confidence and to build my reputation as a leader in the insurance industry, I had to know my technical stuff. I had to put in some kind of personal development. Beyond the technical side, there was also the leadership development side that I had to pay attention to. And that involved learning from my mentors. That involved also reading a lot of books. I remember one time when I traveled, I got this very big book that was called the Management Handbook. And it had every single scenario, right from making calls to sending emails to even firing people, hiring people. And it was the book might have been probably maybe about 3,000 pages because it was very thick. And that was always on my desk every single day. And every single time when I faced a scenario and I wasn't too sure about it, I'll just flip open to a certain page and check, okay, so how do I lead morning meetings? How do I do this? How do I do that? Over time, I noticed that I didn't even have to consult the book so much because over time, these things became natural to me. So you have to be, if you want to build your confidence in anything, you have to be very, very intentional about building yourself in that capacity such that you even believe that you can do it. Certain things become natural to you. I almost always put myself in the situation where there's always a new challenge. And sometimes I keep asking myself, why do I keep doing that to myself? But then I really think that one of the biggest challenges that I ever took up was entering the insurance industry at the level that I entered at. When I entered the insurance industry, I didn't even know what to expect. First of all, this was an industry that, although I'd been on the board of the company that I was now going to lead as CEO, I didn't have day-to-day experience in the role. So there was a new industry, and beyond it being a new industry, there was also a new role that involved leadership at the very top. That was I would say that's probably the biggest challenge I've ever embraced in my life. It has built my confidence so much. I have moved from being tax consultant, Big Four firm who wasn't even management, to becoming the CEO of a leading insurance firm in Ghana. That alone is a confidence booster. I think that had I not taken up the challenge and had I not just dared to dream and dared to believe, then I wouldn't even have known that I had it in me to be a leader. And I wouldn't have even known that I had it in me to build a company from the ground up, from a startup to like one of the best companies in its industry. And it all comes from taking that step that you're unsure of. Because the thing is, most of the times, we never know what the future holds. But what I asked myself was, what's the worst that could happen? And the worst that could happen was that I would fail. And I thought of it that if you fail, what's next? What's the worst that could happen? And then the answer I gave myself was, well, I just look for a new job, or I just do something else. So with that in mind, it was like, well, failure on one side, is it a big deal to really fail? Not really. So that's what kind of propelled me to take on this challenge. And to be honest, I think that if you don't take up challenges, you never know how much you can push yourself and how much you can also even give back. Because for me, my job has now been all about how I can also build others up to also realize what they have in them, how much they can actually actually soar if only they would let themselves. I'll encourage you, just take up those challenges. It doesn't have to be something as big as what I spoke about, but then sometimes it's the very little things that we think are mundane that build us for the even bigger challenges. Because before I took up this job, I'd been also taking little challenges that were taking me out of my comfort zone. Although I'd never been entirely, totally out of my comfort zone, I'd had little glimpses of what it felt like being out of my comfort zone and what it felt like winning out of my comfort zone. So when it came to the time that I had to take up a very, very big challenge, it was much, much easier because you've done it a few times. You've done a few little things that you thought wouldn't work out, but had worked out. So now, if it's a big thing, well, it could work out, so why not try it? And it did. So there's a popular saying by Jim Rohn: you are the average of the 5 people that you spend most of your time with. There's also this saying that says that, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. When it comes to our network, the importance of who you surround yourself with cannot be overemphasized. In my case, for instance, I've noticed that I've had certain people in my circles who have influenced me very positively in my career. One of my colleagues, he was very big on social media, sharing stuff on social media. At that time, I hadn't quite developed my LinkedIn presence too much. So I would just pop in maybe once every 2 months and just write a code, share a conference that I've been to, or share some successes that I'd had. But then I noticed that he was more intentional, and we actually had a conversation about it where he told me that, you know what, you can just batch all your writings or your posts for the whole week or for even a month, so that it posts as and when, and you don't have to keep writing every morning. And once I took that advice, I just saw that it made me more productive, and I even began to share a lot more on social media, because now I didn't have to write every single morning, but I could just take a weekend and just write about 3 or 4 posts that I could just use for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And so when it comes to building your confidence, it's something that the more you have positive people around you, people who are pushing you, people who are telling you that your writing is good, or people who are telling you that just keep speaking and you'll get better, or people who are even just sharing their stories about the things that they didn't used to be good at, but they are now good at, it just goes a long way to put you in that mindset where you become more confident about yourself. You are more willing to give up the best of yourself, and then you just have people who are celebrating you and pushing you along the way to be your very best self. Like we said earlier, you have to surround yourself with positive people who push you towards your goal. And that's what Willy Africa is all about. Join Willy Africa and surround yourself with positive female leaders.